Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty. Since Fatman was defeated last time, I'm about to sneak through this place, find some guy named Ames, and save the president. I'm sure nothing could possibly go wrong.
I mean, I can imagine several things going wrong, but I don't want to jinx you, so I'll keep them to myself. I do find it interesting how this is probably going to be the shortest part of the playthrough so far, and yet it's still almost 28 minutes long in spite of that. None of the Final Fantasy games got to that time as a maximum length, yet this series has gone almost exclusively half an hour plus per episode.
This game just requires the delicate Donald touch to it, and thus it takes a lot longer. I don't have any experience multiplier like you had, so they would take a lot less time. Plus, you didn't have interruptions every other minute that lasted minutes for a scene to finish.
Hey, not related, but do you even have to sneak around here like normal? You look like them, so I don't think they'd really suspect you even if they saw you.
That's a good idea, Joe. I'm not used to hearing those from you. Yeah, I'm probably fine to just move around here unless I lose part of the disguise. That would not be convenient.
Okay, good, it worked. I'm surprised there aren't more of these cameras that you otherwise can't just pass through easily.
I'm not sure, but it's interesting that it took a game and a half to actually see this kind of camera that verifies people in a stealth game like this.
Retinol pattern recognized. You are cleared to enter.
All right, guys, I've got a plan. First, I'll look for that node, which is probably close by. Then I get up to another person here, hit him in a way that lets me hold on to him, and then push his eyes into there and move through the door.
Well, you already got the node, so that's one part down. Granted, not the most difficult part, but it's still progress anyway.
I'm Donald, what are you doing here? You didn't mention going into the elevator in your plan.
Well, I decided midway through my sentence that I was going to change my plan, but I didn't actually say it because I needed to explain my plan before I decided to change it. Anyway, since I know that made sense to all of you, I just wanted to look at this floor before going any further, just in case there's something useful for me. Maybe not, but I thought it couldn't hurt to check it out.
I did not follow along with your logic, but if you think it will help you, then that's what matters.
Does that poster say police knots? Is that something important here? It looks more focused on than other parts of the area.
Yeah, that happened since Donald briefly looked at it. Policenauts is another game that Hideo Kojima was involved with, but was never released in America. I've never played it, but I'm pretty sure another poster showed up in the previous game too. On
a much more important note, I got a box and bullets for a gun I'm not even using against people. That didn't exactly help me with getting through the door, but at least I have an idea on the layout of the other room. Time to figure out how to get the other guy here to the best position.
Is that the right position?
Almost. Okay, I know what you're all thinking, but I can salvage this. He hasn't started an alert yet, so as long as I keep him occupied, then I am able to perform my plan.
I doubt it, but let's see.
If this is your idea of salvaging a situation, then it's definitely one I haven't seen before.
This is far from a successful attempt so far, but to be fair to Donald, he is correct in that an alert phase has not been started, so there is still a chance that he can make this happen. I don't think it's a very high chance for obvious reasons, though.
While Donald does whatever it is he's doing, I think it's time to give a comment question to the viewers. What would you say your favorite PlayStation 2 game is? Since this game is released here, that does make me think of many others that were released here. There's classics like Devil May Cry, Ratchet & Clank, Jak and Daxter, Sly Cooper, Grand Theft Auto 3, Final Fantasy X, Silent Hill 2, Shadow of the Colossus, so quite a lot of great options, plus I'm sure there's many more obscure games that came out that others might have experienced.
It doesn't even have to be an exclusive like God of War or Sly Cooper, something like that. It can be something released on other consoles too. I'd say one of my favorites would be Kingdom Hearts 2, even though there are better versions on other consoles.
One of my personal favorites was the Mega Man Anniversary Collection, though I'm not sure if that counts as it's really just a compilation of other games not released on the PlayStation 2 originally. Same with the Mega Man X Collection too.
Ratchet & Clank was always one of my favorite games. I liked trying to do the whole game with the wrench one time just to see how it would go. It didn't go well.
I was never that into the PlayStation 2, so I didn't play that many games on the system that were exclusives. This game is pretty good so far, though I don't know if I'd say it's my favorite. For now, I'll just say Jak and Daxter, since that was a really good collecting item-based game. I hate Jak 2, though it's way too hard, and I don't care if people say skill issue in the comments. It's really not fun for me, and I hate how nearly everything takes away 2 health points out of 8. At that point, you might as well just have 4 if it barely matters for most of the game.
Somehow, while Donald was complaining, he actually got someone after all. I have to say I doubted you, but you proved me wrong. Also, Shadow of the Colossus is probably my favorite.
Retinol pattern recognized. You are cleared to enter.
All right, now I just have to find Ames.
Oh, great, another call.
Ryden, one of those hostages in there is Ames. The only thing we know is that Ames wears a pacemaker. His heartbeat should sound different from other people's, so use the directional microphone to locate him. Once you recognize Ames by his heartbeat, keep the microphone pointed toward him. Then push the action button and call out to him. If it really is Ames, he should respond in some way.
Okay, we get the point. Can we start looking for him soon?
The guards may get suspicious and come running instead. Security could get tighter, too.
Try to be sure before you take the risk.
Don't call out to a hostage with the action button until you're fairly sure that it's Ames. If you do make a mistake, switch the microphone for an AK and get out of there before a guard gets suspicious. If you're discovered inside, they'll cut off your retreat and call in the reinforcements. You won't make it out of the room. The mission will be over if you're discovered. Don your disguise and look for Ames while deflecting the enemy's suspicion.
All right, Donald, is your plan for this going to resemble anything he just said?
No, I'm pretty much just going to wing it and hope everything works out. If anything, there aren't that many people, so we'll probably be pretty quick.
I have the feeling someone is about to object to that line of thinking right about now.
And once again, literally zero IQ Donald here at it with another dumb idea, because why wouldn't we have one coming from him yet again? Just like your idea of getting caught every possible chance you get, you completely ignore the game telling you exactly what to do because you don't think through your actions, but...
You're Ames, aren't you?
Oh, that actually worked quite well. Now I'm the one with zero IQ.
You must be Ames. Keep still and listen to me. I'm not a terrorist. I got in here using one of their uniforms. I'm taking off the tape. Stay quiet.
He better tell us quickly so we don't get caught.
Who told you about me? An informer calling himself Mr. X, dressed like a ninja.
I see. Take this thing off me, will you? I'm Richard Ames.
The Secret Service?
No, I was sent in by the Lali Lule Lo, just like you.
What?
I can see how this is a problem for us.
You're here to find out where the president is. We have little time, so I'll be brief. How about switching to nanocommunications first?
Nanocommunications?
Right, silence beats talk when it comes to safety.
So if they can just talk with the codec the whole time, then what's the point of finding him and taking of the tape, especially if it's apparently silent communication?
Are you on?
Right here. Do you really know where the president is?
Almost certainly. He was moved to the first floor of Shell 2's core section.
The first floor, the core of Shell 2. Is he still there?
I don't know. I can't get a response.
You don't think he's been like the other hostages?
Hmm?
A hostage was killed in retaliation after the SEAL 10 disaster, remember?
What are you talking about?
How is it that he doesn't know that? Are we being lied to by the Colonel for the second game in a row?
What makes you so sure?
The case.
You mean the nuclear button they took?
Right. And the case won't do a thing by itself. That case may be the single most advanced example of a weapons failsafe system. The password is nothing less than the physiological data of the US president.
Physiological data?
The president's own vital signs, heartbeat, brainwave pattern, blood pressure, and so on are constantly monitored and relayed by his internal nanomachines.
Nanomachines? I think I was injected by some of those before I was sworn in a few years ago. I was told they would harden in response to physical trauma, but I think they just made that up so I wouldn't say no to it.
Password entry itself cannot be performed unless brainwave patterns and heartbeats fall within normal parameters, rendering chemical and other forms of coercion impractical. In other words, the login must be made of the president's own free will. As a failsafe, the input must also be reconfirmed hourly, even after the initial login. If a valid confirmation is not forthcoming, the system will automatically cancel the login.
I hope I'm not supposed to memorize all of this.
At least until the bird flies.
Is there really a new model of Metal Gear here?
Absolutely. The black case serves as the launch key to Metal Gear as well.
Why would they hide Metal Gear in an offshore plant?
Haven't they told you anything? The entire thing was planned. The oil spill, the tanker accident that caused it, everything. The big shell was built specifically for the development of a new Metal Gear model. The inspection tour was to check its progress.
What's going on around here?
Wait.
What are we waiting for? I thought time effectively stopped in the codec calls.
Here comes Snake.
That's him?
Use the microphone to listen in.
It has to be this Solid Snake guy. Solid Snake is allegedly dead, even though Pliskin looks so much like him, and, well, Liquid Snake is apparently dead except for his arm that's back butt. Wait a minute. His arm was cut off. Guys, I think Solid Snake is actually alive after all and is really Pliskin.
Oh yeah, the arm taking over Revolver Ocelot from Part 2, along with that detail in a codec call about the arm being missing that lines up. That's great detective work, Donald, but for now we need to focus on this microphone conversation.
They're a band of lunatics to begin with. Nothing they do should come as a surprise.
I'll have his background rechecked, just in case.
You think he was working for them?
We can't discount the possibility, especially with that intruder still at large.
This is pretty precise to actually listen at a decent audio level.
Suit. You know more about those suits than I do.
But Foxhound was disbanded 4 years ago, so it must be the Patriots. What about the damage to Shell 2?
The circulation system for the contempt.
I'm bored. Let's listen to something else.
What? Oh. This one's worse than that one up in Alaska. Come to think of it, that commander chick really reminds me of someone. Who is she like again?
Donald, is there truly nothing better you can be doing right now? There's an important conversation happening the next room over, and you're listening to a guy poop himself.
No, this is an incredibly important detail I'm trying to get from him.
It was on me. When I think about it, that's when everything started to hit the skids. It's a shame. Up to that point, I was steady cruising on the elite course. Oh, here we go again. Oh.
I have to side with Barack. This really isn't helping anybody now or probably ever.
The president's escort guys get on my nerves, though. Oh, whatever. For now, just gotta hang in there. Oh, there's no paper.
All right, I'll listen to something else now. I was hoping he would give away something important to our mission, like how we're going to get hostages out of this room and to somewhere safe without any guards.
I don't know how many people you think just blurt out secrets while they're having severe problems in the restroom, but I assure you that it's not common.
Place.
Any effect on it?
No.
What about the president?
The password entry has already been made to the black case. In 1 hour, we'll need a confirmation from him. His work is done after that.
Make sure you keep him alive until then.
Yes, I know.
What about the unit's activation?
Almost complete.
I hope that unit isn't a Metal Gear.
All we need now is for the girl to start the system.
The usual method, I assume?
No. The drugs took care of everything.
Only a few more steps to outer heaven.
Hey guys, can we call up Rose for a moment? I'm getting bored and want to rizz her up for a while instead of doing this.
Nobody wants to hear your rizzing attempts on a fictional character, Joe. That's a terrible waste of time.
All right, maybe later.
Who is that cyborg ninja, Shalashaska?
I cannot even guess.
What about you?
I can't see or hear the words.
Olga, don't cast suspicion where it isn't due.
Where it isn't due, when you watched my father die and did nothing.
It's been 2 years ago, Olga. Let it go.
I read the case file for Shadow Moses, by the way.
Olga, how could you suspect me?
Revolver Ocelot isn't athletic enough to be the ninja himself.
How meaningful you make that sound. If Sergei were still alive...
If the old man were still alive, I wouldn't need to take orders from you.
Olga, Sergei was my best friend.
If you sell us out, I'll kill you myself.
Listen, daughter of Sergei. Don't ever let me see your gun pointed at me again.
If you wish, I'll put a bullet in your back instead.
Wow, I don't even think I need to fight them with how much they're arguing with each other.
Yeah, maybe you won't have to fight them at all.
You think any government would have you as irregulars in this political climate? The worst kind of wet works, maybe. But even that's doubtful. I recommend against switching camps. You've nowhere left to go.
This microphone scene has been going on for well over 4 minutes now. If anything, it's more difficult to understand than a standard cutscene, as you actively have to keep the microphone aimed at the speaker to actually hear what's going on. It's definitely an interesting idea of engagement, but not exactly something I want to keep going for so much longer.
It's happening again.
This damn right arm. Liquid! It's almost as if it's having its revenge.
How much do you think we spent on that arm in Lyon? The best transplant surgery team in the world.
I never trust a Frenchman.
So that arm is still giving him trouble, even when we're not in the room with them. I doubt that this is all some long-lasting act or anything like that.
There's something going on. The incidents are becoming more frequent. Maybe that man's presence.
Ocelot, I leave this place in your hands. I have the intruder to take care of.
Yes, King.
Oh, hey, are we finally moving on now? That would be nice.
Is that really Solid Snake?
That's what he claims.
I thought Snake was dead.
Solid Snake did die. But he's also here in the shell. Either he survived or there are two of them.
Two of them?
And that's impossible.
It's going to be another codec call, just watch.
Anyway, what did you manage to catch?
They said password input was complete.
I thought so.
You said the password entry into the black case had to be made by the president willingly.
That's right.
So this means the president is cooperating with them.
It would have to be, yes.
Why?
Probably tired of being a puppet, but it wasn't a smart move to betray us.
I have to be honest, guys, you can't see it from my face that hasn't moved in this corner once since we started playing these games, but this is really boring. I'm about to fall asleep.
But it's nowhere close to the ransom deadline.
Ransom?
$30 billion in cash.
What are you babbling about? The nuclear strike is not a threat. It's been the objective all along.
They plan to slaughter millions of people.
No, a high-altitude detonation. You've heard of the Compton effect?
Total disruption of electronic equipment caused by EMMA pulse.
Textbook answer. Well, when an average nuclear warhead goes off within the atmosphere, the result is an electromagnetic pulse of up to 50 billion megawatts.
Is that a bad thing?
It means your freezer won't keep your popsicles cold.
Oh yeah, that is really bad.
Electronic equipment will be toast in an instant.
If one of the key movers of world economy stops functioning, it could mean the beginning of a global depression.
But that isn't their aim. What they plan to do is liberate Manhattan. Pull it offline and turn it into some kind of a republic. Hence, Sons of Liberty, I suppose.
Sons of Liberty?
Damn! Ocelot is coming. I'm going offline.
Is the scene over?
Search my pocket. Hurry! It's a security card. You'll be able to unlock doors of up to level 3 security. Use it to get to Shell 2. Take care of the president before they launch the nuke.
That is a good idea. I was going to save him only after the nuke went out, but your idea sounds a lot better.
He's coming here. Pick up your AK.
Oh wow, some actual gameplay. I wasn't expecting that.
Coming here.
Well, that didn't last long.
What do you think you're doing?
I asked him to remove these. I'm ill, you see.
I always knew that the DIA turned out second-rate liars.
What are you talking about?
No need for denials. We know what you are, Colonel Ames.
I wonder what Rose is doing right now. Probably thinking about me like always.
So they sent you in to keep tabs on him. Am I right?
You.
Sorry, Colonel. You failed to carry out your duties.
You'll never escape the Lali-Lulelo.
Is that so?
This doesn't look good.
What the?
You tricked me. I understand now. Ocelot. You...
Is he okay?
No, Joe, he is very dead. That looked like Fox die again.
You? Which team are you with? Show me your face. You know who he is.
No, he is not one of mine.
Identify yourself. We meet at last.
At least his arm is okay this time.
Hold your fire! We need the hostages alive!
Hurry, get away!
But you died!
Leave this to me.
All things considered, that could have gone much worse.
I think they're onto us.
Colonel, Ames is dead. Looked like a heart attack.
That's unfortunate. However, we do at least know where the president is.
So there really is a new type of Metal Gear in this place?
Apparently. We're still looking into it.
I've also been told that the nuclear strike was what the terrorists were after from the start.
I think it's rather strange that the Colonel doesn't show much emotion to Ames dying or any suspicion of a sudden heart attack.
Colonel, what are you keeping from me?
I am not keeping back anything. It's not as though I'm told all the facts either. I'm pulling in all the favors I can to look into all this. Just be a little patient. Our priority should be with the president right now. We can take it that they've completed the password entry and are preparing Metal Gear for nuclear strike. Get to the president as soon as possible.
Hold up now was Raiden interrupting the Colonel by telling him to get real multiple times. I don't think that's happened before.
Yeah, I realize by pressing some of the shoulder buttons it makes him say things. I think I'll see what else he says during some of these codec calls.
May be able to tell you what it is when you see him in person. Once they get the confirmation for nuclear launch, they'll do it. You need to rescue the president before then.
Jack, I agree with the Colonel. You need to protect the President for now.
All right.
All right, guys, let's get out of here. I think the elevator can take me to the next place. I'll punch out this guard and be on my way. I would prefer we didn't talk about what just happened.
Donald, I'm not sure how we can just ignore that. You clearly murdered that guy when you had no business doing so. Even if you did just knock him unconscious, it would have been pointless since the elevator was already coming by and you could have entered it without issue. Why did you do that?
I forgot I was holding onto the gun at that point after the whole disguise thing was done. The scenes went on for so long that I wasn't used to carrying a more lethal weapon.
Are you serious? You forgot you were holding a weapon? I swear if I was the one playing this, you would have gone on all day long, calling me demented and sleepy and whatever else you post on Truth Social if I killed someone because I forgot I was holding a gun. But because it's you, I'm sure you'll be calling it fake news within about 5 or so minutes. And you got another alert too, because why not fail even more while you're at it, since it's not like you can really make things that much worse. Why are you even down here?
I don't know, I just saw the guard at the room on the first floor and got scared, so I went back down here. I didn't think there would be another guard so close to the elevator.
Donald, the game stopped to tell you that everyone was cautious because there is an intruder. Why would you not think there would be at least one person near the elevator? I haven't even played these games before, and even I could have figured that out easily. I get that you're almost 80 and your cognitive skills or lack thereof are clearly showing based on what gameplay you've been showing, but you really aren't proving yourself as good at this game.
The moment you've all been waiting for, the cartwheeling buffoon dies after trying to punch several armed guards. The cartwheeling buffoon dies after trying to punch several armed guards.
Jack, what's going on? Answer me! Jack? Jack!
After looking back at my previous decisions and my gameplay, I may have made some mistakes. It's hard to comment since I haven't made any in my life before, but rest assured I will carry out the rest of the mission with no failures whatsoever. You've probably heard that from me quite a bit, but I can see no issues that I can't accomplish after 6 or so attempts, 14 at most.
That statement does not make me or anyone else feel more confident, but okay. Your pacifist run is as dead as that guard you shot, but otherwise you can still make it through the game. I can't imagine the game over an alert count by the end of this. I don't know why I bother mentioning the alerts with how often they happen at this point. While Donald brute forces his way through these guards and searches for new items, I think it would be best if someone sums up those 12 or so minutes of cutscenes and codec calls and microphone conversations.
So Ames told us that the president should be in the middle of the Shell 2 section, which we haven't gotten to yet, and I think has the most damage from the explosion a while ago. The president, who is not Joe, since I know he still thinks it's him, is in danger as the antagonists are going to kill him after the next check for his vitals. The antagonists aren't on good terms with each other, and I'm sure there were more helpful details, but Donald decided listen to someone having problems pooping without toilet paper was a better use of his time. Ames then died in a very similar way that the Armstead president and decoy octopus. For context, Fox Die was a virus introduced in Metal Gear Solid, which was responsible for a few deaths in that game, but hasn't been mentioned here yet, as far as I can tell. It's very suspicious that he just happened to die like that. The cyborg ninja, who is probably not Gray Fox, came down to save Raiden, but we still have no idea who he is. Also not part of the scene, but Detective Donald deduced that the remains of Solid Snake were actually Liquid Snake due to the arm being missing, which would explain why it was gone and now on Revolver Ocelot.
Okay, that pretty much sums it up. Thank you, Ben, for paying attention more than I did. Donald should be about done and headed over to the top strut in order to get closer to Shell 2.
Actually, I wasn't paying attention. Can you repeat what you said happened earlier?
No, Joe, you can just watch back the video when it's uploaded to hear it all again. Now we're finally in some new territory, which is nice.
Let's hear what the inevitable codec call has to say about this.
Raiden, can you hear me?
Pliskin, where have you been?
Checking around. I'm in Strut H right now. How's the situation over there?
We have a lead on the president's location.
Where is he?
Shell 2 core, the first floor.
I'm cut off from the core where I am. It's a mess here.
All right, I'm on my way to Shell 2 right now.
There are IR sensors in place on the connecting bridge between Shells 1 and 2. If you break the beams, the Semtex will go off.
Oh yeah, I remember these from the beginning.
Target the control units and destroy them. Make sure you don't shoot the Semtex.
What do the control units look like?
Take a look with your binoculars.
We have to finish this up while they're talking since we're at the end for today.
We appreciate the support you all have been giving, as always, regardless of which videos you end up watching.
We'll continue uploading more, and I think we're around the halfway point of the game most likely.
You know what we always say, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
And peace out, people.